schools were a pretty good option, but now that the dust has settled a little bit, and they're starting to have to accept more of the traditional student populations with higher at-risk populations. The data's not as strong, so charters are not performing quite to even the level. I mean, there's a few exceptions, but for the most part, they don't perform to the same level as our traditional bricks and mortars. I'll tell you, the online schools have been a disaster. We pulled the data this year on the pure onlines, and there's like 15 or 16 of them across the state, and every one of them has been classified as either a turnaround or priority improvement, which means that they're not doing well, and should they not improve within the next couple of years, they would be shut down or taken over. So it's an experiment that has not worked very well. But one thing that does work well for us, and my own kids that went through this system have used the supplemental online piece through Colorado Online Learning, where you have a student that wants to take an advanced Spanish class, advanced Greek, some of your sciences. That offering has proved to be highly successful. My oldest son took an advanced physics class through Salina High School. It turned out to be a very good class. My daughter now is taking, Spanish? And it really is a great option, as long as you're not supplanting, your traditional bricks and mortar environment, and the kids still have every opportunity. It can really be a great option for us to offer more program at the rural schools. Great cost savings.
How's that Pupple West school working? I mean, is it still one of the leads for the children that, with the
You're talking about Bessemer?
Well, not so much Bessemer, but Pupple West, just for when those children, the high school kids enter, they have their laptops. And how is that? Is that really, I mean, I heard that was one of the leads.
Well, it's a good charter school. It's one of the better examples of charter schools. The fact, I do hear, what you always hear about that school is the fact that they give all their students laptops, which of course makes everyone else jealous.
Is it really panning out? Are they gaining that much more than what my kid doesn't have?
The bottom line is there's not, to date, there's not enough data to support that they're really doing that much better. And you've got to realize a lot of our rural school districts might not even have computers. And that really is a travesty, because one of the things we're trying to do is bring broadband access across the state. We've got a very sizable federal grant that's actually going to bring it to all 178 school districts through pilot partnerships where it'll either go to the community colleges or somewhere within the communities where our schools will start having more access to broadband internet, which will help.
I read a letter in the local TV Times. The lady from Nature was very upset with herself for not voting in her taxes to allowing for more, bond issues to pass.
Mm-hmm.
She said, I have to look back and I did the wrong thing. She said, admitting now that always saying no wasn't such a good thing.
Well, but at some point, the taxpayer says, how much more can I continue to bear, too? It's sad that we see more and more issues thrown to the voter for everything.
But I understand it now. I get it a little more now with even, I'm raising my nephew, and him participating in every sport right now is like, I can't do it. I just can't do it. I mean, you've got to make some choices.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm putting it back on him a little more, too, as well, not just my pocketbook.
Good.
But him as you've got to make some choices for yourself.
The thing that seems to be the most problematic, especially in rural Colorado, is the fact that, our small businesses have stayed very static. They don't grow to the extent like you see in the metropolitan areas. Park County, I represent Park County, it's a perfect example. All the businesses in Fairplay are hurting so bad, we're seeing them actually close because of property tax concerns. And because of the Gallagher Amendment, it really is causing severe limitations to our ability to collect property taxes at the local level. It keeps driving up state share of funding everything, particularly schools. But the sad part about it is in this world of sound bites, if you're going to fix that, you would have to go to the ballot with a measure that said we are going to significantly increase the property taxes on your home so we can give small business a break. And you can just imagine the other side of that, how easy it is to argue against that. But, you know, it was really very disconcerting. I had a gentleman from Park County come in that owned a large motel he bought a couple of years ago and a restaurant, and his taxes have effectively tripled over the last 5 years to the point where it's, you know, $30,000 or $40,000 a year in property taxes. He said, you know, my revenue's down, I can't make it, you know, unless I get some tax relief, I'm going to have to close these businesses because I can't afford to pay the taxes. And, you know, most of the time in the legislature, one of the better parts of my job is, you know, when you call me with a problem because you've got some kind of bureaucratic logjam, for the most part, we can make 1 or 2 calls and help you work through that. On these constitutional issues, there's absolutely nothing we can do. It's like, I'm sorry, I wish I could help you, but it takes a statewide ballot initiative to fix this, and you better be prepared to raise $10 million for the advocacy campaign, and it's just, it really is tough. You know, we were so easy to, you know, put things on the ballot for so long, and now we're suddenly getting what we asked for. We've got all this representative government of you know, citizen-dictated government, but now it's all starting to do this. And, you know, I don't know the quick and easy answer. Mark, you have a fix for it?
We used to have a representative government where we chose representatives to make decisions for us, but now it's like everybody wants to have their 2 cents worth.
Yeah?
Well, if you have sustainability in Chaffey County, I just wonder if some kind of a pilot partnership program could be brought in to assist even the city with the water. I mean, everybody got kicked hard this month when they gave us their water. All of a sudden, 5 people sat and voted, yes, we have to be at 70% more, something like that. And it just really hit people in the wrong place, psychologically. That's not it. Crime just gone up and all that kind of thing is happening. There is a group of people, there are a lot of people who are kind of advocating sustainability. You know, there are a lot of good health workshops here. People come in to, they fly in, especially they fly in away from movie making and stuff like that. You know, that it's a nice area for that. People are comfortable with coming to this area for it. I would think there should be some kind of partnership program that can help the local people. They're saying they need new water lines up at the swamp of where the water comes down to the slide flow. There are 3 open flows that they use. And all of a sudden, you know, at a water documentary hearing, and all of a sudden they jumped and drummed it up the water pipe for the water, and people will turn on the tap here. And it's, what can people do? Can they ask for a public vote to stop that? Is there a regulation measure that says that they cannot increase basic utilities that much at once?
Utilities, unlike other taxes, aren't subject to Tabor limitations because it's not a new tax, it's just an adjustment of cost. And there's supposed to be a nexus, a direct nexus between the cost of the service and the cost of delivery of the service. So it's obviously not a for-profit enterprise, but some of what the city should be doing with this excess money is building a reserve to have to deal with the repairs or replacement of the water line, and that's how the system is supposed to work. What inevitably happens, though, with all these jurisdictions is they get behind a little bit with their revenues and postpone deferred maintenance items and the like, and then suddenly it becomes an emergency, and now we've got to address it, and got to address it significantly rather than doing it a little bit at a time. But, you know, all these political subdivisions are guilty of it. They all do it, particularly in times of declining revenue streams.
Well, okay, so in terms of the nexus concept in place with the Tabor, locally the people got through putting in the water towers, and then all of a sudden they need something help bring down that line, and that increases